Hello, everyone. This is another episode of the Hypercast, Kickback Hypercast to be specific. This is your host, Xavier Evans.
This is your co-host, Brandon.
And this is your dreaded co-host, Charles.
Why that one?
I don't know. I dread it. I dread. People dread me, probably.
We were out late. Well, not really late.
11 o'clock. I didn't come till 11 o'clock.
Oh, well, I got home at like 10 or something like that. But still, like, I worked like the entire day that day before hanging out with you guys. And I'm still drained. I feel terrible. I keep falling asleep, but I'll try not to do that during the episode.
Yeah,
So,
I'll probably wake you up.
how's your job this week going, Brandon?
Yeah, okay.
Is it weird not working right now?
Yeah, it is.
How about you, Charles?
I mean, besides working a lot of hours and doing mostly non-bagger stuff, pretty good.
It's good to hear. So this week we don't have Nathaniel with us. We just got some time to work on the different things that we're doing as far as video upload, boarding our like charting out how we're going to do like the different content that we'll be featuring on our YouTube channel, like Brandon's little timeline project for video games and other media. Charles doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
I know somewhat, but the problem is I gotta figure out how I'm gonna do it.
Well, then you would need to write it down.
It's not that. I just gotta figure out the legal fees of mine still. How can I do mine legally? Like,
yeah, all it takes is a piece of paper and a pen. There's a thing like the most successful people write down their goals.
yeah, I might just research to see how I can talk about my stuff without getting in trouble or getting our channel strikes because I'm using copyrighted stuff.
Well, you'll know if you're using it. You just got to do the research and not sit and worry about it. So this episode, we're going to be talking about our pet peeves. From problems to peeves. Don't you just love the direction that we're going?
I want some peeps.
Peeves. I hope that's how it's spelled. So I'll start. We'll be doing a rotation sort of style because we have to keep things organized somehow.
We're doing our top 3.
Because I've noticed our episodes have a little bit of a recurring pattern where one of us is a dominant speaker and the others are silent and occasionally add something in. It's not necessarily how I want a podcast to work. So I'll be starting us off. My first pet peeve that I want to go over is a rather simple one, but also very annoying. Leaving the wheels turned when you park. Now, this one goes back to work when I used to be a bagger for Kroger. Collecting carts was 200 times more difficult when you had a 4x4 pickup truck with its wheels turned all the way out, and you could not get the carts past the car because their wheels were going past the line. Now, I can see people who have like really long vehicles trying to like get into the parking spot. Sure, you got to make a wide turn to cut in there, but can you at least have the decency to straighten your wheels so other people can walk past your car?
I mean, I'm still doing cards and like, I like when those cars are they park almost on top of their car. Like, wait, what?
It makes me upset. And again, these are called pet peeves because it bothers the individual.
I don't really get it myself.
Because you've never done carts.
Well, it's not just carts. Seeing it makes me mad. Or seeing a van. Like, why would you even buy a van or a pickup truck if you're going to park it like a jagged, I don't know. I need a proper context reference. But I'm sure you can figure out what I mean. Like, you're not going to park straight. You're just going to park at an angle. Why even buy it?
All right, so we'll do me next.
What, you don't have any comments?
Brandon doesn't do cards, so he wanted to have.
So
one.
that's Brandon's weak point that he needs to work on, which is adding things to the conversation.
He's about to beat you, boy.
No, we're all here for growth.
Yep.
We need to give constructive feedback. All right, so Brandon, your
turn.
All right, so my first pet peeve is people who don't say thank you when you're holding the door open. Say you're with your family and then like you're holding the door open for them, and then like another group of people come by, but they just like don't acknowledge you or don't even look at you at all.
I was just shut the door.
You just
on them.
have the door open, and then it's like you can at least have the common decency to at least say something like thank you or something like that.
Now this brings up an old debate.
Common courtesy.
No, it's not common courtesy. It's doing something with the blind intention of wanting something in return. You think you're doing it because you're nice, but you honestly are doing it with a motive. You want something in return. And they call it a blind motive because you're not directly seeking that, but if you're not rewarded with that, it does bother you. So yeah, that's the debate that it reminds me of. As far as like the actual like essence
Well, I mean,
of being there,
I
like,
just do it to be nice.
right,
It's
and,
like,
and if that's the case, I wouldn't even care. Like, I'm just doing this because I felt like wasting my time to do it. I mean, like you want to be polite, but you also want to be acknowledged for being polite.
Yeah, it's like that's why usually when I open doors for people, I purposely do it in front of them so they have to acknowledge me.
Like, if you save the world, would you want your check, even though this was never agreed upon between either party?
I mean, the world had to pay me somehow.
My God. I was going to say something, but it's going to be totally controversial. Brendan's already shaking his head.
what is it?
I was just going to say, like, if you were a superhero and you saved the world, you'd just be awarded, like, women and, like, your own oasis. And they're just feeding you grapes. But that's, in, like, 2019, that's probably the most derogatory
Yeah.
thing against women. Like, older media has a way of depicting women as like mindless maids that like feed men grapes or something like that. So what about you, Charles? What's your take on holding the door for people? You said you would stand in front of them.
Usually what I would do is I would walk in front of the person and then open the door. They have to acknowledge me somehow. Like when you do it for a family, they think you're just doing it for your family, so they don't acknowledge you. But if you do it in front of them, then they would acknowledge. They have to acknowledge you somehow because you're actually opening the door for them, and that's just an added bonus to your family.
I suppose so. Yeah, I mean, when I do it, I just do it. Like, say whatever. Like, I just don't care. I'll do it.
I don't know why, but it's hey.
All right, Charles. What's your pet peeve?
Well, the first one is this was the one I've always had problems with actually trying to get into something is people who guilt trip you or force you into watching or doing something you don't like.
Guilt tripping.
Guilt tripping.
This is a horrible thing. I it's my pet peeve too.
I just hate people who guilt trip you. Like, let's say there's a movie you don't want to see because you hate the first movie, but you don't want to see the second movie. I hate people who try to guilt trip you, try to get you to see the movie. Like, oh, it's a good movie, or it's like I can't stand that.
Well, that's more than just expressing themselves.
More like they guilt trip
a
you.
more particular form of guilt tripping that I'm familiar with is when you don't want to do something and then they're like, oh, well, I'll just be alone. You don't want to hang out with me, or like,
or
you don't want to be my friend, or stuff like that.
Or when your mom says, oh, I do all these things, or when your mom tells you to do something you don't want to do, your mom guilt trips you. Oh, but I do all these other things for you. Like, please stop. You make me not want to do it even more now.
And some people just have to realize that, like, sometimes you just really can't do something, and like emotionally attacking you isn't the answer. What, you have experience with this, Brandon?
Yeah, I do.
Actually, I think you're being guilt tripped right now. Like,
I don't want to mention it here because
yeah, don't do that.
It'd be a name.
No, you don't want a name. You were part of the discussion, Charles.
Yes, I was.
Well, have you ever been guilt tripped to do something like that was like with a friend?
Trying to remember. I can't exactly think of it, but I'm pretty sure I have.
Well, that added a
Well,
lot
I
to
know
this discussion.
I know it doesn't really add anything, but I think I have.
And what's your opinion on people guilt tripping? You think it's okay? Or?
It's like I don't like it. It's like, can you at least give my own opinion to it, or not?
Yeah. I see what you mean. Like, can I have a say and like that be my answer instead of like you have to retaliate with how you feel. Well, I mean, express your feelings. Like, don't bottle it up, but like, don't do it with the intention of making me do something.